Concept cars will draw big crowds today when the New York International Auto Show opens to the public. Automakers want to show visitors experimental designs and hints of future models. Concept cars are expensive to build, but almost never hit the open road. Kris Van Cleave got rare access to one of the Automotive Design Center to see why companies invest in projects that rarely become reality.
The grand reveal of the new Lincoln Navigator is the end of a design process that started years ago with a sketch. This is the rarely seen Lincoln Design Center in Dearborn, Michigan. It's where the cars of the future become reality. The team of designers here first drew every angle of what would become the Navigator. After a series of tweaks and changes, it starts to take shape in clay, something car makers have done for decades. But now it's shaped with precision by this massive computer, and then intricately finished by these sculptors.
This is a clay car?
It's a clay car, yes.
So if I'd been a little bit more diligent with my Play-Doh as a kid, I could have made something like this?
Yeah, it's a real skill to actually be a clay modeler and actually create this with your hands.
Maury Collum, Ford's vice president of design, says they can spend a year going from clay to concept.
It is to create a buzz, it is to anticipate people, it's to give people a little bit of excitement and to tease them and where we're going to go in the future.
That's what the Navigator concept did with its sweeping gull-wing door.
The famous, now historic Y job.
The concept of concept cars is nearly a century old.
A dozen years of automotive progress telescoped into one effort.
Buick's Y job is widely credited as the first, back in 1938. Nearly 20 feet long with hidden headlights and electric windows, it never made it to production, but it did set the tone for a generation of Buicks.
The nation's latest experimental car.
By the 1950s, the concept car took off with futuristic designs never meant for the road or even this planet.
They are basically the stuff that, dreams are made of.
Ed Lowe is the editor-in-chief of Motor Trend.
When things are going really, really well, you get some more forward-looking kind of vehicles. In times when the economy is maybe not so good, the vehicles can be a little bit more conservative, more staid.
Perhaps the most famous concept car is the 1955 Lincoln Futura. 4 years later, it drove Debbie Reynolds in. It started with a kiss.
Oh, I'm just daydreaming about pretty cars and pretty dresses.
But you know the Futura not because it became a bestseller,
Batmobile to airport.
but because it became the Batmobile. While some concept cars, like the Batmobile, become expensive collector's items, others end up here in a warehouse outside Detroit. Their innovations, promises of things to come, and the out-there designs lost to history.
What does a concept car cost to build?
It costs quite a lot, but we usually get an investment back in terms of the publicity we get from it and the message it sends to our customers.
Are we talking hundreds of thousands of dollars,
We're talking
millions
hundreds
of
of
dollars?
thousands of dollars, yes.
The concept process is really an exaggeration of ideas.
David Woodhouse runs the Lincoln design team. He calls what they do futuring.
The inside looks a lot like the concept did.
Yeah, it's remarkably similar. We wanted the customer to be transcended from their everyday life and busyness to something when you got into here, it felt like a sanctuary.
A sanctuary in concept that took Woodhouse and his team 4 years to make a reality. For CBS This Morning, Kris Van Cleave, Dearborn, Michigan.
Love those cars. And the thing is, they also influence design significantly,
Absolutely.
But as
if they don't get built themselves.
And as a concept, the Batmobile was a good one.
I love the
Just
Batmobile.
saying, I mean.
But you really can look back at some of these designs and see the influence today.
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Aesthetically, absolutely.